Victory Tuesday, but I am doing
The
great.
weather outside is frightful. That's what it looked like. Snow in April. We've had it in May too, but you just
Yeah,
after a while you don't want to see this stuff anymore.
I know, but it's a blessing to be able to see it. That it is, and we got our guests in here
Yes,
today.
we do. But first, I want to give a shout out to Tracy. Don't know if she's listening online or not. Tracy's still doing social distancing. We probably don't know when we'll see her back in the studio, but eventually she will be back as part of the show, and we're praying for her and the family as well. Who is this special guest? I mean, I don't really consider her a special guest anymore. Michelle is family, so I don't know what you want to call her a special guest.
She lost all
I mean,
her
it's like
specialness.
special guest sounds like we not familiar with her. This is a trusted source that we use. So it's not a special guest. This is a special person. Let's do it that way. A special person is on the air. So what you got for me?
Well, this special person goes way back, but we're going to be talking about money matters and money moments with Michelle Chambers today. So, like we said, we trust her, and we only bring on people who we trust to give us some great advice. So, welcome to the McCain train, Miss Michelle.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
And I know y'all can see it because I can see her up here too. She look like a little girl. But anyway, this little girl have a lot of knowledge that she's going to talk to us throughout the show. But we got some more exciting news before she hit us with the truth on how to manage our money.
Yeah, she's gonna be talking about the subjects on the Let's Talk About It. That's gonna be part 1 and 2. We're gonna be talking about money matters with Michelle Chambers. Like Brenda said, a person that I trust and respect and honor a lot, that I know as a Christian, she's not going to lead you astray. You got a lot of people out there will give you financial advice or financial assistance that are only thinking about themselves and what they and how they can benefit for it. This is not that individual. This is a God-fearing woman that's going to make sure God is honored first in everything that she does. And so the information you're going to hear today is always going to be God-driven and truth. And that's what I like. Nobody else is going to come on this show that's not going to be God-driven in truth. And you don't have to worry about the information that you're receiving because it is a person who loves God, fears God, honors God, and will give you the truth no matter what. So you're going to have
how hard it helps.
yeah.
It hurts.
The only thing that you may have a hard time is just getting them to speak a little bit louder in that mic. That's going to be the hardest. We got to get them to speak a little harder in that mic. But speaking of things that's hard, my goodness, if you haven't heard yet, the verdict has came in for George Floyd, guilty in all 3 counts. Chicago and around the world is going to be saved. You don't have to worry about your stores being looted or torn down. Black people, I'm ashamed of you to have to say that, but I'm so happy that the verdict came out guilty so we don't tear down our own places. But I'm just excited, Brenda, that we did get the verdict that we should have received. But there's some things that I'm going to say about this that I'm not too happy about it. But I'm going to let you and Michelle and LP is always going to say something when he wants to. He's almost like Mr. Ed. He's like Mr. Ed. He only says something unless he has something to say.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out what he got to say. But, do you heard about the verdict? What did you think?
You really want to know what Betty Shabazz? No, I was just so happy and elated that justice was served, even though we would prefer to have George Floyd still walking on this green earth, but to know his death was not in vain and that all the protesting, the riots and stuff, it panned out for the good. And, once again, we have all of this with the cops shooting Black people, and this time you just feel as though, wow, I could see. It gives you hope. To me, it gives you hope that sometime down in the future that things will get better, things will change. But this is, I know it's going to be a backlash somewhere down the line. But for today and this moment, I'm kissing the mic. For today and this moment, it's beautiful to know that justice has been served on all 3 accounts.
Yeah.
And I think. Do they hand down a sentence? Because the highest was just 14 years. And he could.
40 years. Yeah, 40 years.
Okay, so I don't know. Is that second degree?
That's second-degree murder, yeah.
Yeah, so he might get 20. But whatever. He's in jail, and God knows he's going to have to deal with some people In jail. And not that I'm looking for that to happen.
Well,
bad,
you know,
but-
the sentencing is going to come up shortly, but the maximum you can get is 40 years. But Michelle, what do you got to say about this?
Well, you know,
Bring that mic
I
close
was
to you.
watching it, and of course, I was elated to see the verdict. And it's a step in the right direction. There's been so many things prior to this case, prior to this murder, but it is a step in the right direction because we still have so many other cases before us that just happened recently, and so many people that will never receive justice for what happened to them. So, but it is a step in the right direction, and I think it gives us a glimmer of hope and what could happen in the future for a lot of victims.
LP, you got anything you want to add on to this, or you just going to jump in when we say something you want to make a comment on?
Yeah, I'm chilling right now.
He's chilling. He's taking care. Let me just tell you this. This is how I feel. I've heard a lot of people say some things about this verdict, and you know, justice, or you know, this is progress. This is not progress, people. I hate to say this. This is where we should have been a long time ago. This is what humanity gets called us to be since the beginning of time. When does it become justice that a white police officer who kills a black man in cold blood, we call that progress? Heck, in 1776, the Declaration of Independence, what are you saying, girl?
We're getting the thing that Michelle mic might not be on. Is it on?
It's on. It's just quiet. I'm fixing it.
Okay, so and if we have a problem, we just switch over the mics for. But let me just say this. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal. We had to go now to 1964 to the Civil Rights Act to get equality. And now we're here in 2021, and they call this progress? What happened to back then in 1776? What happened in 1964? Why is it that that's progress now? You may want to see if that mic is pushed up. Has they got a thing on there? Why is it progress now compared to progress before? We are sitting here right now where we're talking about this as progress. Why do we have this as progress? There's no progress when we talk about this is great. No, it's not. We should be here already.
But see, we're accepting this being great now because it's something we have not seen. On our part, we would prefer for it to have came out this way, guilty instead of not guilty, because we'd still be singing the same dance and song. But for yes, we should have had progress years ago, but we know how the system works. So whatever we could take, which is sad, but we'll take whatever we could get if justice is being served.
You know what progress is? Progress to me would be from now on, I get treated the same way that a white person does when the police stops him.
We ain't even.
When a
doing
white
that.
person can sit there and threaten a cop. What now?
I'm sorry, it's not buffering on there, but it was buffering on here.
When a white person is you need to let him know that. But when a white person can sit there on video, threaten the cop, tell him I'm gonna kill you, beat him up, and the cop never fears for his life, but a black person can be sitting in the car and get shot. That's when we get to that point where I'm treated the same way. I'm 60 years old and I haven't got stopped by a cop in a long time, but I'm still as a black man concerned that if a cop stops me, could this be my last day? As that old song says, this may be my last time, maybe my last time. I don't know. So how is that progress? Progress means that from now on, every cop is told that if you do something like this, you will be going to jail, period. You cannot hide behind the blue shield, the blue color. Blue is not more important than black. You can't hide behind that. If you do this, you will be going to jail. How about that as progress? Not this. This is where we should have been a long time ago.
He's about to be made the example of.
He could, but there were so many examples. What happened with Rodney King? They going back all the way to Medgar Evers. I'm saying that wrong. Medgar Evers. Say that for me.
Medgar Evers.
Thank you, girl. I ain't gonna try it again. That person. When the mama sit there and opened the casket and allowed them to see what they had done to him.
You're talking about Emmett Till.
Yeah, Emmett Till. These are the things that you go back to.
Yeah.
Why is it that now this is progress? This is not progress. We should have progressed a long time ago.
Right.
So for them to say this is progress or this is a great day in history, no, it's not. It's a sad day in history that we're in 2021 and a black man is more concerned about his life now probably than back in the 60s.
True. So
When
but let
they
me ask you,
allowed whites to beat blacks and hang them.
if it was not guilty, what would you be saying?
Well, see, that's not even a question. Heck, all hell would have went through. I'm sorry, I did say the word H-E-double-T-P. All hell would have broke loose. We'd have had Armageddon around here.
Absolutely.
Black people have been tearing up everything in their neighborhood for some crazy reason, thinking that people care that you tearing up your own stuff. This is Christian Real George Floyd version. I mean, that's what happened. Ain't nobody caring about you tearing up your store. You tear up your Walgreens, who cares?
Right, they don't.
I'm gonna be really real. I'm taking the halo off. It's dropping right now. It's dropping. Y'all see the halo dropping?
It failed. Well,
White people are not concerned about you tearing up your stuff in your black neighborhood. They don't care. Go ahead, tear it down. They singing the song "Burn, Baby, Burn."
well, let's think. Last year when George Floyd was murdered and all these cities had a riot, they tore down Michigan Avenue. That's not an
Oh well, they
area.
went crazy about that. They
Yeah,
pulled up
they-
the bridge,
Yeah,
had
they
police
did that,
around
so
there and
I mean,
everything.
Not saying we
Nah,
condone
they
it,
tore up the
but-
west side. They probably just said, okay,
Right, correct.
no big deal. Is that right? Is that mic working now? LP.
So,
Okay.
Let us know out there if you could hear Michelle say something on there.
Well, if you're speaking about the riots, yeah, I mean the damage caused on Michigan Avenue, that was about dollars.
Yeah.
It wasn't about justice, it was about dollars. So absolutely.
It's about dollars, and Michelle's being nice, but it's about white dollars.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about, white dollars. Anybody? If that was black dollars, shoot, you remember black dollars when we had when the riots in St. Louis back in the day when black people had their own thing and they tore up everything. It ain't about dollars just for say. It's about white dollars. That's where the white dollars at. Michigan Avenue is where the white dollars are. You ain't finna mess up white dollars. You can mess up black dollars and tear down everything you want to, but not white dollars.
And I thought money was green.
You know, but the thing about it is that that's ridiculous for us to be doing that. Then all of a sudden, as we was talking about before, white old people can't shop nowhere because it's a desert in their communities. Because these places are saying, I'm not coming back here anymore. But I digress. I don't look at this as progress because progress means that this is, we've moved above where we should have been. Progress is if I had $40,000 and the company decided to pay me $60,000 in 2 years, I progressed. But if I should have gotten $40,000 from the beginning and you pushed me down to 30 because I was African American, you can't say I progressed to get to where I was supposed to be at 40,000 anyway.
Yeah.
That's
So,
not progress. That's where I should have been.
basically, you're saying we never was on the same playing field. And today is just a little snippet of seeing that we're on the same playing field of justice. But we have so many other cases coming behind this. This thing today is beautiful. But it makes me think about when Halle Berry won the Oscar. It was our time right then and there for us to give it to a black girl, to give it to a black guy. So what happens next year when the police steal, the blue
Next
shield
year,
and
tomorrow.
tomorrow, next week, next month, when they still, putting a knee on our neck, it's like, look, we gave y'all a pass. We gave y'all one. We're not going to give you another one. Let's hope that's not the case. But I could say, hopefully, it's a new day coming.
What you got for me, Michelle? You was going to say something.
Oh, no, what I was just going to say is that, in all things that we have to take the victories. This was a victory today, but it doesn't mean that the war is over.
Yeah.
So I just think this was just one victory towards many more we hope for.
Yeah, and I'm speaking as a black man, an angry black man. I'm tired of these little victories that tomorrow somebody else can get shot and the police get away with it.
Absolutely.
That's not progress to me.
Absolutely.
This is in Minnesota. What's going to happen if it happens again in Wisconsin? What happens if in Michigan, where they changing the laws now where you can't even vote in
Right.
some situations? You think they're going to care about somebody
Right.
getting killed
In
over there?
Georgia, yeah.
And in Georgia, that's Georgia. I said Michigan. I'm saying everything wrong today, but I'm heated. I'm heated. Are they changing the law in Michigan too, or not?
Probably. There's
I think there was
many
one that they
states
were
that are
talking about. They were
changing
changing
the
law, but
voting laws.
they did it in Georgia.
Absolutely.
But the fact of the matter is that I'm angry about this. I'm 60 years old. I've lived through it. I've been in neighborhoods where I was driving a car and the police stopped me just because I got a nice car. I got a nice car now. I'm thankful to have a Mercedes. When I didn't have my gray beard, I was always concerned that he was going to stop me and figure out that I steal the car. Why is that? Where somebody else that's not black or not of color can just go and do anything they want to. He's just having a bad day. He robbed the place, and that's a bad day.
Right.
You think I'm about to rob the place, and I'm 6 feet under.
It's sad because I want to say it's different with the men and the women, black men versus black women, but it's
But
not. I always think of with Sandra Bland, but I think about the last 2 years when I was pulled over, and by the grace of God, I'm like, oh my God, they helping me. Remember the time I was going to a dermatologist and I couldn't find a place? He's like, why is this girl swerving? Because I'm trying to look for the address. And the cop was a Hispanic guy. He was so sweet because I think he seen my face and what was going on. He said, I would take you there. Remember I told you he literally walked me into the
I don't
place.
want to hear your Goodfield story. I'm
know,
sorry.
but see,
I don't
my
want to hear nothing
family,
about
there are
Goodfield
some
story
good cops
about.
out
I'm not
there.
saying it's not a good cop, but I don't want to hear that today.
Okay,
I don't want to
well,
hear no
I had
Goodfield story
this
about no
last
good
one.
cop.
I gotta say,
About
the last
nothing.
one-
Oh, we know cops are good. We talking about the bad ones. I know a lot of good
I'm
cops.
just thankful for those that were so nice.
And there were some cops there that went against this cop. There's some good cops.
Yeah, which I'm
But my
proud
problem
they
is
stood
that
up.
we can't call this progress. Yes, Michelle, this is a victory. Yay! But progress, no.
Yeah,
I don't
mean, a lot of folks
believe
wanna
that it's
talk about it.
progress until I can get treated the same way that my white counterpart can be. I mean, not only by the
Might not be in
police,
this lifetime.
I want to progress in job, employment, and housing.
And pay.
Stop redlining and pay.
Pay.
I mean, then we're progressing because now we're looking at people equally. I'm not a black person with a degree. I'm just a person with a degree. I've been a person that had to lose my job because they wanted to give a white person the job and didn't care about my family. Then that's progress. This is not progress. It's a victory, yes. But what's going to happen tomorrow? That song that Janet Jackson sang, What Have You Done For Me Lately? What's going to happen after today? You can't even get the George Floyd law through the Republicans. They're trying to do a law for George Floyd. You can't even get the Republicans to do that. It's ridiculous when we sit there and try to say that this is progress, and it's not really progress. Are we still having problems with that, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike?
Swing this
No, I
one
don't.
over. Ain't no problem.
Swing it over or just,
Yeah, we can just.
I'll figure this out.
yeah, just swing it over that way and Michelle can talk it in. Because Michelle's got to talk
Right.
when it comes to Michelle times to talk.
So we be.
So we'll definitely be we're gonna be doing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot for a while on that. Next week I'm gonna have another mic here. That won't help Michelle, but I will have another mic here.
She about to be a regular. She don't know. We need her to.
She
help
is
all
a
of us.
regular. She regularly can come when anytime she wants to come. And I'm sorry. I told y'all the halo was gonna drop. This is not Reverend Rick McCain. This is Rick McCain. This is Black Man Rick McCain.
Black man.
Speaking about the fact that for 60 years, I've been concerned about. I'm still to this day. I don't fear no man, but I do feel the color blue. Because if I get stopped and it's late at night and I just happen to be coming from somewhere, which typically I'm not out late at night anyway,
Not anymore.
I got to, it doesn't even have to be late at night. Heck, people getting shot in the daytime.
Yeah.
Guy walking away from his car and the police shoots him 7 times. He almost dies. I mean, how do you call this progress? It's not justice because George Floyd is dead. He's never coming back. If that was my brother, you could never give me justice. Justice means think. This man was killed because they said he wrote a fraudulent check. I'm gonna die because I'm a fraudulent. Can I go to prison? How did what is my boy? I'm just so mad I can't think of people's name. Chris Rock used to say, can I get 50 cents for half a sandwich? I mean, can I just go to jail? Not die? Can you just arrest me and I go to court the next day? Not die? Can I pay a fine? Not die? When is that going to be where that's progression for me? That I can sit there and say, hey, I can say anything to the cop and I don't have to fear about him killing me because he's supposed to serve and protect me. And he's going to understand that I might be a little bit upset. I'm a credit analyst in my job. Nobody like me. I got a portfolio of 34 to 40 million dollars that I take over. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just telling you this. They don't want to listen to me. They don't like the fact that I can't give them something. I worked for a company, and I had 15 years experience, and they said at the company, we like Rick, but do we want a black man over our finances?
Of course not.
Is that progress? So that's what I'm talking about. When we start seeing each other as just humans instead of color, then that makes a big difference. What you for? You
That
do know you're on
video,
radio.
They're showing.
Oh, they
it
showing the
again. It just
video.
hurts
LP
so
is on the
much.
ball. Michelle, you got something? I want you to talk again and see if that mic is working. So we got this. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was actually just watching the video as
Yeah,
well.
for those of you all that don't know, Let's Stay Together talk show, you're on Soar Radio. We love you. 2-time Stellar Award winner for Best Internet Station of the Year. We also are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I got that right, LP? Yep. That you can see the video that LP does out there. Is doing an excellent job putting things out there for us. To show the video of George Floyd. I mean, it could be 10 years later and you'll see this video and it'll just be
Absolutely.
disturbing. You know, so this is just me on my angry black man scenario right now. Because as a black man, I'm angry that you still want to look at me as a black man. I'm really going off now. I don't want another white person coming to me again saying this is my black friend. I ain't your black friend. I'm not your friend if I'm your black friend.
Correct.
I'm just, I'm not that at all. Brenda, we still on radio, baby. Okay? Remember
Nobody
that.
paying me no
But I'm just saying you making those noises and people don't know what you're making noises for. So you got to at least express that.
I never seen that part to literally see.
Oh.
And you shouldn't watch it now.
Yeah.
You should, it's too
Okay.
disturbing.
Yeah,
Don't
and
watch it.
It is a disturbing.
If you've never seen it, then don't watch
It is a
it now.
disturbing thing.
Yeah.
It's disturbing, and they added time on that. They were
Yeah.
saying 8 minutes, and now it's like 9 minutes
Yeah.
or something. It is a disturbing thing that you're going
Can
to
you
see.
switch that? Just because
see,
it is, it's a
that
little
alone-
Yeah,
heavy.
'cause she ain't-
It's
she
a
gonna
little
look at it
heavy.
anyway.
It's
Yeah.
too heavy. It's
You know.
to
That
just
alone right there,
yeah.
to see that, and if he would have walked, I know as a Christian we want peace, we want everybody to be okay. If that verdict was anything else, it would have been horrific, because it's like, how you not have the evidence in front of you showing what this person did, and you would let him get away. And to me, even though he was found guilty, we have to prove so much just to get
Yeah,
that
I mean-
guilty verdict when it was played out right in their face.
Yeah, they did an excellent job with the prosecution of this, and I looked at the thing on CNN pretty much every day. They did an excellent job of setting it up, but I mean, the video does everything.
absolutely.
I mean, with that video, there's nothing else you can do. And I mean, if the verdict would have came back non-guilty, I think everybody around the world would have been shocked. But I still think as a Christian, we have to have a level mind, to say this is not justice, this is not right. But you don't go tearing up your own place. You going around people's houses tearing things up, stealing from stores. You're going to go to jail. They're going to put you in jail for 10 years to taking a TV that you could have bought for $150. I mean, come on.
yeah.
Grabbing small things like that, because you mad about something. I mean, even now, you're going to still hear stories about some people breaking into stores, even though the verdict was what they wanted.
Well, those are opportunists.
Yes, they're opportunists.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going to happen. But
Don't
it's like,
bring that mess here in Chicago, man.
well, shoot, Chicago is going to be probably one of the biggest places it's probably going to happen. You can hope not. But, I've said my thing. I'm going to do that Yomiko Remiko. I'm going to come back. I'm back.
Yeah, come on
Yes.
back to
But
us.
I mean, as a black man, I don't see this as progress. As a Christian, I definitely don't see it as progress. I cannot understand as a Christian man why anyone could look at someone and say, I'm better than you because of a color or because I've got more education or anything. We are supposed to be here for each other, not competing against each other. And that's what makes United States of America great when we do that. It's not great right now. I don't care what anybody says. It's the greatest country in the world. Yeah, okay, for some, but not for all of us.
No.
And when it becomes a great country for all of us, where I can look at you and just say friend instead of look at a color, or I don't have to worry about somebody walking across the street because I'm black. I'm like, I'm 60 years old. I ain't finna chase you for no wallet. You probably got less money than I got right now. What am I gonna take your money for? These kind of things are troubling to a black man because we still don't think that the world see us as human. And till that day comes, there's no progress to me. That's all I got to say. Now I'm coming back as Reverend Rick McCain. How you doing, everybody? I had to get that out. We're going to talk about next week, knowing your calling. That's what we had set up for that. But for today, with that verdict coming up, you haven't heard guilty on all counts. The sentencing is coming soon. They probably said they're going to be a week or so before they have the sentencing all together, so we don't know. But this verdict came back real quick, guilty on all counts. And I'm happy for the Floyd family for this, but I'm also sad for them because this verdict will not bring back their loved one. So anything else y'all want to add on it before we go into a commercial break or we go into our music?
To keep the family in prayer because there's a lot going on. I know they're happy with the verdict and stuff, but the Floyd family still keep them lifted because you still have those people on the other side that's not like us. That's still the Trump supporters and stuff might try to do something, which I hope they don't, but keep them lifted up in prayer. And I also want to say, if I could switch on with that, keep the Brown family, the Johnson Coleman family, and the Silla family lifted up in prayer as well.
You gonna say something?
No, I was just going to piggyback on that and say, just because this is over with, the grief lasts for a lifetime.
Yeah. And it definitely does. Hey, so we're going to go into our music. LP, I think I know what I'm going to be talking about. You know what? We're going to have this one song on here, and Brenda, who hopefully she's ready for this. The song we got is called Yamo Be There, and we're going to explain a little bit about why that song was written and how they were really concerned about when they wrote this song. So I know Brenda's going to pull that information up. And then we're going to come back with Donald Lawrence. Well, I should say Yamo Be There is by James Ingram and featuring Michael McDonald. Then we're going to come with The Gift. The Gift looks good on you. We're going to talk about a gift for sure when Michelle Chambers come there talking about money matters. I did get that right? Money matters, right? No.
Money moments.
Money moments. You got me saying matters now. Money moments. You messed me up. I'm so frustrated right now. I'm gonna come back. Yomi Karimiko. Money moments
with Michelle.
Money moments. I let them say that 3 times.
3 times. Right.
And then we're gonna come back with that gift. So hey, listen up. This is Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo. Catch us on Facebook. We got some subjects to talk about. LP, do your thing, man. What you got for us?
You want to do the...
No, after we come back, we'll talk about that. But go here.
Okay, I think I'm about to make
you need to move around, honey. Move around. Go ahead.
That's okay. You're going to be even angrier. But this topic really got me. California posts to return 75 million beach resort to black family. 75 million. It's been 97 years. And you talk about progress. Yeah. 97 years after Jim Crow stole it from them.
Yeah.
Now, this was a well-to-do family, Charles and Willa Bruce, who lived in Southern California. This beautiful beach area, had a beautiful Manhattan Beach home. And, of course, they pulled the white car, and it's called, eminent domain?
Yeah,
and it's
domain.
Like, we could take this from you because we don't want y'all in this area. So, 97 years... Oh, let's do something nice for their family. You know, that couple's been dead and gone, but I believe this is a family who kept their legacy going.
Now, there's a lot of them, too.
But it's so sad that you have to wait. Now, this is what I'm upset about. 97 years, nearly 100 years to get your just due. So how do you feel about that?
I was waiting for that. Like, when you gonna bring me into the story? I saw this story about that. Another thing I was looking at, getting mad about progress. It's like they have stolen this thing away from this black family long ago. I don't know if they used intimate domain then. They probably just said, we taking it from you. That's what they probably said then. They probably taking it from you. I'm just saying that's what they saying now. They probably just took it from them. And then now they want to give this thing back at $75 million. My question is, where's the interest? You didn't keep it that long. Where's my interest? Because interest should get me at least a couple of million. That you didn't took it from. Is it 90-something years, they said? How many years is it?
97 years.
97 years of interest. That's what I'm looking for, too. Because, you didn't took this from me all that time. Somebody else made all this millions of dollars from this stuff, and yet you're going to say, oh, we're going to give it back to you now. Great. It's $75 million, but where's my interest? Because you stole it from me back then. I'm quite sure it is. Michelle, what you got? Anything?
Well, we already know that if they're giving $75 million... less exponentially, we'll say this, a third of what they probably are due, is what I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I won't disagree with that. I mean, because you know that. I mean,
Absolutely.
that, you know, this is what we're gonna give you. This ain't what we
Right.
think it's worth. This
Right.
is what we're gonna give you.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. What my interest? Because I need some interest on this. Y'all stole this from my family. 97 years. I'm just so glad that they. You know, only thing I can say is good. They didn't wait 100 years. You know,
Yeah.
wow, 3 years before 100 years. I mean, are you kidding me? You're going to take something away from somebody that long, that people, this could have been generational wealth for that family. And then you're going to sit there and say, oh, we're giving back to them like this is a feel-good story.
Right.
I mean, are you
giving
kidding
me
me?
back what was mine?
You know, you're taking back what you stole from us. I'm sure the Indians are probably sitting up saying, when we going to get our stuff back?
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Wrong for that. Let me move on to this next story.
I'm just heated today.
You are. Calm it down.
Yomiko Remiko.
This next story tickles the mess out of me because of it's 3 beautiful African American women in this room, and even though I did something that I didn't have permission to do, but I couldn't help it because what you guys don't see out there, we have a beautiful young lady in the studio with us named Chaja, and I loved her hair. So, you know, from sister to sister, I was playing in her hair. But we as women don't like nobody playing in our hair.
Where is this going?
So, this is going with this beautiful story. Journey Hoffmeyer, traumatized by white teacher who cut her hair.
Ooh.
Who give you the right to cut your student's hair?
What's the story?
Now the story is she's 7 years old. This happened twice. Her classmate, because she's an interracial cute little girl, got a little upset with her on the bus, used the scissors and cut her hair. Nothing was done. So the teacher felt as though, hey, I could even it up for you without asking the parents' permission or anything. And she took it upon herself to cut her hair. So, Rick, does that give you the right to do anything like that? This is a father who was going off.
Okay,
Not the mom,
I'm gonna go to
but the
Michelle
father.
on that first and let her see what she got to say. That way I can,
Well,
I can
you
calm
know,
down a little.
I know I have a daughter who was the only black child, only black girl in her school at the time, and that it was some stressful years in there. Culturally for her. So no, I would have, you know, it would have been rather litigious of me once if that had occurred. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about this story other than the fact that once again we're talking about some
It's cultural insensitivity.
yeah. It's you know.
It's exactly what it
you
is.
said that much nicer than I was gonna say.
Nice picture up there.
You know,
bring that picture back. How they
Yeah.
hide that.
now
Oh,
that I look at
wow.
the picture, it makes me even more
Yeah.
angrier. As a father, I would have probably went a little bit ballistic, gotten very angry about that you are going to sit there and, you don't know how that might have traumatized this young little
my
girl.
goodness,
That
yeah.
her hair's going to be cut by someone, then the teacher's going to say, well, I'm going to cut it too, and don't even talk to the parents about it. The teacher might have been trying to do something nice, and I'm going to go there a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, even with you trying to do something nice, sometimes what you think is nice is not the right thing to do. Right. You don't make the decision for somebody else's child on what you think is right or not. Right. So, I mean, I can't say much about this without getting extremely angry about the fact that once again we're talking about a child. There was another thing on there where a little boy, they suspended him because he had braids in his hair. Mm-hmm. That was a story we had out there too. I mean, and this is an African American boy who had braids in his hair. So this situation where we're always trying to, change. I mean, United States was built on changing the culture of everyone who came here. They had to fit into the white way. Everybody that came here, I don't care who it is, Chinese, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Jews, everybody had to be changed. That was what they called the melting pot. That's where the melting pot came from, because it was going to melt it into the way that we do things here. So still having that kind of philosophy troubles me to the point where, as a father, I'm just glad that he handled it probably much better than I would have at that time.
The worst part about this before we move on is that the school really didn't show any remorse. It was, oh, we'll send you an email. We're sorry. We could send you a card. Are you serious? This little girl is traumatized with her friends that okay, they might have been jealous. You're gonna cut my hair, and then someone that you're supposed to respect in the school, she jumps on board, and whatever her intentions were, it still was wrong. Because I don't know if any school teacher would take that liberty without confronting the parents and telling them what's going on, and you still, after confronting them, should not have said or done anything. But for this little girl, looking at these pictures, how long her hair was, I could see a little child being jealous of her and cut the hair off. And it's like nothing was to be done with that. It's like basically get over it. It happened.
Okay. I will just say there should be a lawsuit coming after that.
It should be something when the school just didn't.
How many?
do
How much
it.
time we got, LP?
Like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, well, this next one, I believe happened on the west side of Chicago. Ooh, drive-through restaurants.
We
with a
got
little
3
girl-
minutes now, so.
a little girl got killed in a McDonald's drive-through. Michelle, it's just like, can you just go get a Happy Meal? And she was happy. They said, I'm like, wow.
But this
Bullets
was a gang-related shooting because the father was shot as well. So
So they was aiming at the father. I didn't read this story.
Yeah, in the car,
Yeah.
and they shot the child, killed the child, and the father, as of today, I heard this morning, he was still in critical condition.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
So
this is why I get a little bit upset with my people.
Mm-hmm.
What the HE2 picks is wrong with us?
You said it before.
I know, but I didn't say it this time because I was more angrier than.
He also said we should bomb schools before.
Oh,
we
Jesus.
We learn our lessons on this show.
And what I was saying to him was a biblical bomb. There's a bomb in Gilead.
B-A-O-M.
So,
Gilead,
you know, you want
yes.
to bring that back up. But I will say this.
He's talking.
This is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you want to fight each other, do it on, you know, how about just being men and just say, hey, let's meet each other at the park and we can just shoot at each other. You know, the best man wins. If you want to die that way, fine, but stop these innocent This girl is 7 years old. She didn't die, did she?
yes,
Oh,
she
she's
died.
not-
She died. Yes.
So that even makes it, yeah, I don't know. I can't speak on that one.
And they
I'm
still
frustrated.
haven't caught the people.
You know, and most people, you know, we live in a society now they don't care. Well, that's just that's his fault. No, it's not. And again, if we keep on doing this as black people, nobody else is gonna care. They
Well,
don't care that
they
we
don't
killing
care
each
now.
other. No, you kill each other. So what? It just makes it better for us. That's. I mean, there's literally white groups out there that are preying on the fact that you are going to kill yourselves so they don't have to do it. Why I gotta do it? You're the worst enemy. It just gets ridiculous. I don't know. You know, I used to always say that in Martin Luther King, you say we shall overcome, and I would say now that we feel that we've overcome, where do we go now? Where are we going? Because we ain't going in the right direction.
That sounds like COVID to me. We shall overcome.
COVID hasn't even stopped violence. It's increased. It's ridiculous.
It really has.
I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. Hey, this is Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo. Hi, everybody. I'm a little frustrated today. We got Michelle here on Money Moments, right? I got it right? Money
That is
Moments?
correct, yes.
Money, don't say matters again, okay? Money Moments. And we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. You on Facebook. We're going to give a shout out to... we're going to give a shout out today. I was going to give a shout out to... I'm going to give a prayers out to Scottie Pippen, too, who lost his son. Who lost his son as well. What we got?
Because he have money matters up there. It's money moments.
Okay, so you're going to blame him.
You told him that.
I didn't say money moments matters. Doesn't matter.
This is
It's,
It
it's
says
money
moments.
moments. It's
money moment.
What are you reading?
What are you reading?
Right here, money matters.
Oh, that was... Oh, I must have told you money matters.
Oh.
Okay. But change that to money moments.
it's okay.
No, it's not. It's wrong.
Hey, we on the right. Somebody be like, well, what's it money matters about? It's
Because
money moments.
it's your representation. We got to get it right. So, LP, what we looking at?
I'm just running the last couple ads.
Okay, we're running the last couple of ads. We're going to be right back with Money Moments with Michelle Chambers. And we're going to talk a little bit when we come back on the air. Huh?
I'm just laughing at the title of the show. Is Money Matters. That makes sense.
Money does matter.
10 seconds.
We're... 2?
10 seconds.
Okay, we're going to be talking about that. Start off with the... Oh, Jesus, I can't even think right now. I'm so frustrated.
Oh, No, it's okay, because now we are on the air.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain, and Michelle Chambers is going to be talking to us soon about money moments. Baby, what was that first? I'm so frustrated, y'all. When I get frustrated, sometimes I get hyper. I get into that preacher moment. But what was the first story we talked about? We always try to tell people on Facebook who's listening to us on Soar Radio, 2-time Stellar Award winner for Best Internet Station of the Year. Don't cut me off. I want them to come join us on Facebook so they can see us on Facebook, Twitter. Facebook, YouTube.
Twitch.tv/Let's Stay Together Talk and YouTube/Let's Stay Together Talk.
Like he said.
Yes.
I want everybody to know that they can join us on there as well. You see the beautiful ladies here on this set, the handsome LP, and then I'm here as well. What was that first story we talking about? This $75 million. Just tidbits about that before we go into that.
California Post to return $75 million beach resort to black family 97 years after Jim Crow stole it from them. Okay, and we was talking about progression with the George Floyd story and verdict. How they said, we're progressing. This is ridiculous. Almost a century. They're trying to return the money back, and like we all saying, that beachfront property is worth more than $75 million. But this well-to-do black couple, Charles and Willa Bruce, had this beautiful place, whereas they said eminent domain took it away from them. That's when I think they created that title. So therefore, that's what we was talking about, Rick.
And Michelle, you had made one comment that I really want you to repeat again about the value. What we're saying it's $75 million, but basically what it's worth.
I just said that probably that was a settled amount, but it probably was worth maybe triple that amount. But after 97, I'm sure it was a settled amount, just like any other lawsuit. They probably just settled for that amount.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people on that family that there may be 75 of them. There's a lot of family members and descendants from that family. My thought process: 97 years. Where's my interest?
Right.
I want some interest off of this thing. Give me something. Don't hold the pickles, hold the letters. Come on, I want some interest. Give me some money. One of the songs, McCain Train songs, come back with the OJs called "Money, Money, Money." Show me the money. Like my guy said, show me the money. There's some interest that should be involved in it. As Michelle says, if they send $75 million, it's probably triple that value. But that's what they're giving them. But for 97 years, you're gonna take this away from me, and it's only worth now $75 million? Are you kidding me? Yeah. The only thing that I'm concerned about now with this in closing is that the fight. I'm hoping there's not gonna be a fight between the family members about who gets what. Because most of the people that owned the property at that time, most of the descendants have died. Yeah. And so how is that going to go? Hopefully everybody will do something peacefully. Speaking of peacefully, we're going to peacefully transfer into our next subject. And now I can be calm and relaxed and don't have to worry about being an angry, black man anymore. We're going to talk about what are you talking about on Let's Talk About It, baby? What you got?
Well, let's talk about it. We have Money Moments with Michelle Chambers. You guys can see this if you're on Facebook. This lovely lady standing here with a hand on her hips to teach us a thing or two. And for Soar Radio listeners, thank you for hanging in there with us, because this is a great topic that everyone of all ages, I keep kissing this thing today, of all ages need to understand how this money factor is going to work out. So welcome to the McCain Train, Miss Michelle Chambers. Break it down and help us, girl.
Hi.
She sound okay in that mic?
Well, thank you everybody for having me. So I'm Michelle Chambers. I am a certified financial coach and a certified financial educator. So I have 30 years of finance and NBA sports, and I am passionate about financial literacy, especially for our people, for black people. So,
it's funny because the thing we was going to talk about with Christian Real before I switched it over to the Joey Floyd and became an angry black man, we was kind of talking about knowing your calling, having your passion. And one of the things that I know about Michelle is that she has a passion for this, a passion for helping people. So before we start talking about money moments, why did this become a passion for you to help people the way you do?
So, I've always loved finance, always loved numbers, and I sort of fell into this niche by being in finance at work. It's just sort of people would gravitate and ask me questions about money, ask me questions about their taxes. So it kind of just evolved into doing financial coaching. I was certified, and it really has evolved. And then I just became very aware of how much people were struggling with their finances, people right out of college, adults. I deal with professional athletes, and I would have to give I give a presentation every year, and I would kind of see this glazed look in their eyes that they didn't know much about finances, their own personal finances. So it just sort of evolved, and I love it, and I love seeing people really make changes in their finances and their credit, and really evolve in learning about money and becoming passionate about money and not just things.
It's funny because you said that glared look in your eyes. A lot of people get that when they're so confused and shocked about something, but they also get that when they're that, wow, really? This can happen? I can do this?
Right.
It's that look that they're saying like, wow, this is fascinating. And it's amazing how many people don't know about finances. I'm going to raise my hand too, because if I'm going to have a financial question, it's going to Michelle. But one of the things Michelle's not telling you, because she's so modest, that there have been people that have trusted her with millions of dollars. She don't have to say the names or anything like that, but millions of dollars that they come to her and trust her explicitly to handle things for them. And so you're getting a person that superstars have trusted with millions. Now, I don't have millions. I got an M, but I don't have millions. So here you're going to have some information that's coming from someone who's going to give you money moments on how to help you with financial assistance, financial wealth. So Michelle, what is it? You said that glare in your eyes, that look of confusion or shock, the deer in the headlight look. What are some of the things that when you talk about, you see that people don't have a clue about this can happen?
Well, for instance, I talk about, people that, they don't watch their money. I always explain to people, you should watch your money daily. You should know exactly how much money you have, what's coming in and what's going out. And I am shocked about how many people that don't know how much money they make. If I say, how much money do you make? They don't know if they make $50,000 or $250,000. Like, I don't know. They really don't have an idea of that real whole number. They don't know how much money they're bringing in or how much is going out. They have no idea. So when you really start talking about, and I start asking questions to my clients, they have no idea. They don't know where to begin because they are so far, they're just living day to day. And their finances are all over the place. So they kind of get that glazed look when I ask them about, well, how much money do you make? Oh, I really don't know. Well, how much are your expenses every month? I really don't know. So it's really interesting. And so that's a baseline that I started right there. Mm-hmm. That's how much are your expenses and how much is your income?
It's funny because I know exactly what I made to the penny, and sometimes that can be discouraging to know exactly what you made to the penny. I know exactly, if there's $5 difference in my account.
Absolutely.
I know what it is. I don't have to keep up. I'm like, okay, I spent this, I spent that. This shouldn't be that way. And a lot of people don't know that. But, it's a little bit surprising, Michelle, because these are people who have been working for years and they really have no clue. So how do you help me? I'm just going to be the idiot in the room right now and say, no, I don't know what I'm making. It almost reminded me that Dr. Richter's on television. Mm-hmm. He's doing his little commercials and stuff like that. How do you help me understand the value of knowing what I make?
It's very easy. We write it down. If you don't write it down, the Bible tells us write it down, first of all. But with your finances, especially, if you don't write it down, all of your bills, and people have bills that they don't even think about anymore because it's automatically coming out of their accounts. Or, I forgot I'm paying $10 for Netflix. I'm paying for satellite radio. I'm paying for gym memberships. All of these $10, $15, $20, it adds up. Yeah. And so without writing it down, you're like, wait a minute, I'm spending $100 a month on unnecessary things. So right there, I make people gather all of their documents. We sit down at the table and we start at ground zero by writing every expense. Bring me all your bank accounts. And we start right there.
I remember a long time ago, Michelle had taught me something, which I don't drink coffee, but why should we give Starbucks all of our money? and that's some expensive coffee that people, you know, if you just say, oh, every day somebody going to Starbucks picking up some coffee. I don't know how much does a cup of coffee cost, Rick?
$5.
Stuff there about a little bit.
$5. So like,
Don't talk about
$25 a
Starbucks
week.
though.
Well, let me say this, because I'm a Starbucks drinker.
Yeah, so I am.
But I don't drink Starbucks every day.
You-
And I always tell people, you can have Starbucks, but you need to be clear. That's if you're buying Starbucks every day at $5, that's $100 a month. Don't tell me you don't have $100 a month for savings. You're gonna have to give up Starbucks to fund that savings account.
Miss Cookie Miller said Miss Michelle is giving the keys. But yeah, it's so many little things like that. Like you said, write it down, make it plain. Stuff that you do notoriously, like eating out all the time.
Oh, that's a
and
big one.
spending money. Like we love Chipotle, and those salads are not cheap. Now just imagine if you was spending money on that every day. So I always look at certain stuff as a treat. Oh, we getting Chipotle salad now. That's a good treat. But during the week, it's like, I can't believe I spent $50 on this.
Yeah. You know, Michelle, you had said something that was interesting because you're saying that, you know, you tell people to write it down. But you know what happens a lot of times if I'm coming to a financial advisor, I'm afraid to really tell them what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
And so you get that a lot. So how do you handle that fear factor of saying, I don't really want to let her know what I'm doing. I want you to help me, but I don't really want you to know what I'm doing with this. I mean, that could be a burden to deal with that.
Rick, I have had people, and I mean this is, I have in full meltdown in tears. So I think that's a great thing because I really try to make people feel comfortable. I'm like, look, this is between you and I. I'm here to help you. We're gonna make this. We're gonna get you out of this situation. We're gonna make things better. So when you can tell people communication and making people feel like it's not over, and you're not the first person, and you won't be the last. But the fact that you're starting from here, I think that's so important. You have to communicate. Money is very emotional. If I asked you how much you make, you would jump back. Did they ask me how much I make? But you have to start somewhere. You have to find somebody you trust and say, hey, I'm in trouble. I'm overspending. I'm in credit card debt. I've had all kind of clients that have had a lot of different issues for different circumstances. You know, all of it is not overspending. Some of it is loss of income. Some of it is illness. And some of it is I'm just living outside of my means. Plain and simple. I want to live this fabulous life and I can't afford it.
So what you do is, give me again what you do, because I'm going to ask a question from there.
So I am a financial coach. So I sit down, I put you on a budget. I help you build your credit. I help you figure out what is your long-term goals. A lot of people don't have long-term goals. I'm just living. And you know what happens? Oh, boom. I think I want to buy a house. You do? Have you been planning to buy a house? Have you been planning to buy a car? Have you been saving to buy a car? That's why I say every financial decision begins with a moment. The moment that you decide to buy a car, the moment you decide to buy a house. So when that moment happens, have you prepared or do you need to get prepared?
But Michelle, here's the thing. I don't have to prepare. I can just get a loan.
Can you? Not everybody can.
Yeah.
And at what interest rate are you going to get that loan? Can you buy a house? Everybody, you go try to buy a house and they say, oh no, you have too much debt, your debt to income ratio. Or maybe you thought you could buy a $200,000 house. They said, we'll approve you for $100,000.
Yeah, and you haven't been looking at $100,000.
Right. You've been looking at $300,000
So now
houses.
you're disappointed.
Absolutely.
That's all I can get. And see, that's
Absolutely.
why I wanted to bring it up, because people don't understand preparation.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants something now. Heck, I want a new car.
Absolutely.
I can't afford a new car. I mean,
Do you
and
know
not to
how many
mention-
people go into the car dealership for an oil change or repair and come out with a new car? I have a really good friend, went in, he works for Ford, went in to get something done on a car and came out with a brand new truck. I was so down. I said, what? He said, I want to take it back. They wouldn't take it back. I said, you should have had me on the phone. I'd have told you to walk out of there. That has happened so many times to so many people.
Yeah, so you're talking about, I love that. You got that little, angel and demon on your shoulders. So the demon telling you to buy. How do you consciously be that angel to help someone understand that what you're about to do now financially is not a good long-term decision?
Well, the one thing we do is we set goals. And so if I'm the angel side is saying, hey, if you really want to have this savings account, if you really want to buy a house, if you really want to save to have a child and you're going to be on maternity leave, the angel is saying, pay attention to the goal. Don't worry about the sacrifice. It's the goal. And a lot of us, we don't want to sacrifice. I just want it now. And that's really what is hurting a lot of people. I had a client once, and she came one time. We sat at my kitchen table. It was a friend of mine. She brought all her stuff, and she was taking out payday loan. I had no idea. I thought she was doing well. She had a Mercedes. She had a great government job. She looked fabulous. And she was single. I thought she was doing well. She broke down crying, and she said to me, we're working on her budget. And she said, oh no, I need $600 a month in this budget for travel. I said, you can't afford that. I said, you have to forego travel to get these payday loans paid. And she wanted to buy a condo, which is why she came to me. She said, I really want to buy a condo. I said, then you can't travel. You're taking out payday loans. You can't do these things. She never came back because she didn't want to sacrifice. She made a choice.
I like that. And what you just said. Number one, those payday loans are ridiculous.
It's called usury.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
It's the interest they charge on those things.
Yes,
are ridiculous.
it's usury.
But you said something that was so important to me. It almost reminded me of the Bible when the young man came to Jesus and said, what should I do, to get to the kingdom? He had talked about all the things that he did. And Jesus told him something, and then he says he walked away because he wasn't happy with the answer.
Absolutely.
What happens a lot of times in finances is that people don't want the assistance because they're not going to be happy with the answer.
Absolutely.
They want a quick fix for a long-term solution.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's got to be difficult, Michelle, but give some tidbits to some people. Why is it important for you to say, hey, you can't do that traveling right now? I know you want to, but you've got to look at the long-term scenario.
COVID. If COVID didn't teach us anything, is that anything could happen.
Yeah.
And nobody saw this coming. It's going to happen again. Maybe not in our lifetime, maybe in 20 years. But what happened? People that had good incomes, had could afford their mortgages, their car payments, just like that, lost their jobs. And so they weren't prepared. And a lot of people were living above their means. And so therefore, 3 months in, they were in hot water because they didn't have any savings, or their savings were exhausted very quickly, And so I think COVID should have taught everybody, hey, I need to reset. I need to think about what's important and what happens if this happens again. Can I, that's why the food lines are so long, because people, and that's another subject, because there's a lot of people living below the poverty line. But I'm talking about people that were living above their means or didn't have any savings, because it's gratification. I want to go to dinner. I want to go to this concert. I want to buy that bag. I want to travel, but you don't have anything to fall back on.
Yeah,
How can they start though? To live within those means. I like that analogy what you just gave, that the people who had it all and don't want to let it go, like you telling me with Brent, you got to let something go, because just that coffee a week is not going to do it. How do you get them on the road to start off with living within their means? Your means has shifted.
Absolutely.
From that $50,000 to $100,000 job to you are barely making it because you don't have a job right now, and that stimulus check is not helping. Where some people who get that check, they not putting it in the way. They still, I got to do something for me since the ban has lifted. I need to go somewhere. They're ready to take that trip. How do you, start off and say, okay, we writing this down. I'm going to get you on the right track, Brenda. Let's live within our means. What's the first thing you would tell me?
The first thing I would say is, what is most important to you? Is it what's important to you? Keeping a roof over your head, keeping your transportation, keeping food on the table. There are ways to have a really good time without spending $1,000. Without taking a trip. There are ways to have a getaway that you can go get away for $300. You can do an Airbnb, a cheap hotel, hotels.com or something. But it's what is your priority? And we have to figure out long term what is most important long term. The gratification for right now has gotten everybody in trouble. Yeah, I mean, and you said something so important when you said about COVID, because
there are some people that are living, below poverty.
Absolutely.
But there are some people who are now, a part of that poverty level.
Absolutely.
Because they didn't financially plan.
Absolutely.
A lot of us live paycheck by paycheck.
Absolutely.
And then when that paycheck stopped, you can see, unemployment is not helping a lot of people.
Absolutely.
We didn't prepare ourselves for something like this, and we don't expect the COVID to happen.
Absolutely.
But it can happen.
And my statement isn't saying that people that are living paycheck to paycheck or living that, they didn't prepare. I'm talking about people that were living very well, but COVID happened,
Right.
and then they were slammed. Oh my goodness, I don't have any money. Well, you were living because, you had so many expenses that you didn't prepare for what could happen, because eventually life happens to everybody.
Yeah.
I've been divorced. I was a single mother. I bought a house on my own. I had a child in private school. I had to sacrifice. I had to put my daughter through college for all of those things to happen. So I didn't take vacations. I didn't do a lot of things because I had to figure out what is most important.
And the key thing you said that I had to sacrifice,
Yeah.
and that's something that we don't want to do.
Right.
I mean, we're still trying to keep up with the Joneses. So Michelle, I'm sitting up there and I'm listening to you, and I'm still a little bit afraid because I really don't want you to know what I make, but I need some help. How do I start?
Well, I can't work with you if you don't tell me what you make.
I'm
you're
gonna tell
talking-
you now.
Oh, no.
What do I got to bring?
What would you bring to
yeah.
me? Oh, everything. I need your bank statements
Can
for
I
the
bring
last.
my wife to you too? And
Bring
you
your wife.
financially,
Yeah,
get her in
absolutely.
line too?
I need your
Okay.
bank statements for the last 6 months. I need to see, all your all your credit cards, everything.
Wait. Everything? I got to show you everything?
Everything.
Why? Can I hold
Everything.
back something?
Because
how does
then,
that hurt holding
because
back something?
Why are you coming if you're holding back? Hold all of it back then. And that's what I would tell you. Hold it all back. If you have a payday loan, I need to know that, because we're going to attack that. If you have some old medical bills, I need to know that. I'm bring it all. So then we can work through it. And this is why I have had clients in 6 months. I have a client, oh my God, she's a sweetheart, and she was young. She's like, I want to work with you. I want to save money. And she ended up working a part-time job where she's making a lot of money. She got a $10,000 check from this part-time job before she spent a dime. She said, okay, I want to make sure I do the right thing. Okay, I need to do this. I said, and she said, I want to do something for myself. I said, absolutely. You can because she had worked the program so well, take $1,000 and do something for you, because it's about living balanced. And because it's like being on a diet. If you tell somebody they can't have anything, that they're not going to stick to it.
Yeah.
But if you tell them, hey, you can have a little bit of this, you can have a little bit of that, they're more likely to stick to it. So I'm not saying we have to sacrifice and we can never buy shoes, we can never go on vacation. I'm not saying that. But if you're in debt, if you're hiding your car in the garage, if you're behind on your mortgage, those things.
I just want the people that I owe my car to know that my car is not in the garage, so you're not going to find it there. I don't owe anything on my car.
Right.
But and it's so true, because I think what happens is that you have to trust the person and trust the system.
Absolutely.
But the first thing you have to do is trust yourself.
Absolutely.
You got to trust that, it's almost like AA. You got to first admit that you have a problem, that you need some assistance. And I think a lot of times people don't sit there and say, hey, I need some help. And I like that example, because this young lady used the program right. And then because it was something embedded in her, she knew, I want to make sure I do this right.
Right.
And you have to have that desire to do what's right for yourself, because it doesn't matter what Michelle does. If you don't want to do right for
Absolutely.
yourself, you can't bring. I would always tell people when I was counseling, and they said, how many victories did you have? How many people did you change their lives? I said, I never counted. It was all what they wanted to do.
Absolutely.
If they wanted to change, it was a victory, not me. And so the thing about that is, the victory that Michelle already has is that God has given her the wisdom and knowledge and the gift to share. You now have to get the victory of receiving that knowledge.
The great thing with this, knowing her for over 30 years?
30 years.
The one thing I always did was trusted her money matters situation. I'm saying that word, not mama's money matters situation. I always watched her like, I know this is a seasoned person who has a great income, but she was always frugal to me. And being her friend,
Smart.
right? Being her friend, I'm like, this girl got money to do whatever she wants to do. But I'm looking at her. I said, okay, I get it, because all the things she done been through, she pacing it out, she's saving and doing the right thing for, like she's doing the sacrifices for us. Whereas some people who had her position of a job would have went right through that money and blew it. But one thing I do know with Michelle is I'm saving, but I want you to tell people the importance of giving as well. Why is that so important to give?
Oh my goodness. So by nature, I am a giver. And I am a firm believer. God has blessed me tremendously in so many ways, not just financially, in so many ways. But I enjoy giving. And I don't just mean monetary. I love my family. I love my daughter. I have an only child. And she won't say she's spoiled. She'll say she's blessed. But giving is part of God's commandment that we give and that we show. That's part of love, and that's part of ministry. And even in giving, though, I had an incident about a week ago where I really wanted to give somebody some money that was in trouble, and I had to pull back because I know I struggle with giving. And so I asked a couple people, and they were like, no, don't do it, because I will give. My mother used to say, you'll give your last quarter away. And I would. But and when I say give my last quarter, not that I'm going to be homeless or anything, but I'll give you all I have, because God has always blessed me tremendously. And so I don't worry about that, and I'm also a good steward of what he gives me.
I know this one. I'll do a quick segue here. Miss Kiera Cunningham said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's my daughter.
And that's a lovely daughter.
Wisdom tells us when to give and when not to give.
Absolutely.
And there's some people that you can give to, and it'll be more of a hindrance to them than a help, because then they'll always have their hand out to give. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, you can give a man a fish, but you can teach him how to fish. Mm-hmm. And this is the how to fish scenario. Michelle, we're going to come back. I'm going to go to our break here. We're going to come back. We're going to be talking to you for probably another 15 minutes before Stephen comes, and then we'll talk to you a little bit more. I want you to tell us when we come back about 3 things that you believe that is a must if we're going to go through getting financial assistance.
Okay.
So let's go right back to, we got Michelle Chambers on Money Moments. This is the time that you really need to listen up. This is a young lady who, like I said, who doesn't even say it, but she has helped, millionaires. And they come to her before they go anywhere else for assistance. And so these are millionaires. And millionaires don't like their money to be just, nobody knowing what they're doing. They sharing everything with her. These are millionaires who are sharing everything with her. So I think you should be able to share your thousands. So if you want to get to the millions, you got to learn how to share your thousand, and she's here to help you. So we're going to come back. We're going to have the song for the McCain Train request. What do you think? It's the OJs and Money, Money, Money. Yeah, listen it up. You're going to have a couple commercials, and we'll be right back. For those of you all on Facebook, we're going to ask Michelle a couple of more questions before we get to that major question, and we'll see you in a few seconds. LP, do your thing, man. All right, I know we got some more articles here, but I want to talk with her a little bit more. For those of you all that are listening on here, this is your special bonus edition. Michelle, we're talking about a lot of things with finances, but how do you train? The Bible says train by the child in the way he should go. Mm-hmm. How do you get the light to click on that this is the right thing to do for some of us? Because some of us are just saying, this is too hard.
For some people, I like to talk about to them, this is what it's going to look like for you in a year. This is what it's going to look like in 5 years. And sometimes that's, especially depending on what age they're in, or if I'm dealing with some younger people, I'll say, what happens when you decide you want to get married? And you have to say to your intended, I'm in $40,000 worth of credit card debt, or I have bad credit. And because I think that before people get married, they definitely need to talk about their finances. And so sometimes you have to kind of listen to the person and listen to what their goals are. I always talk about, what's your life goals? Oh, I want to be married. I want to have kids. I want to buy a house. And I said, okay, so how are you going to get there? These things your money has to line up for those things to happen. Your credit has to line up for those things to happen. Now, as we all know, life happens. everything doesn't go the way we want it to, all kind of things happen. People become ill, people lose jobs. I'm talking about you are just blowing your money. I see a lot of people that just blow money, and I said you're never going to get to where you want to be if you don't hunker down and make some changes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's so true because I'm very frugal with my money too. I don't like to spend anything on myself. You know, if Brendan needs something, I don't have any issue with that. But I hate to spend something on myself. But I don't know if I can say that I'm the greatest steward if I don't have knowledge. The Bible said the people perish because of lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And I as an individual that's sitting there looking at this, the fear comes into the fact that I don't have the knowledge. And then I get afraid because I don't know if I can trust the person with the knowledge, which is not a situation we have with you. But how do I slowly remove those fears to the point of getting to it saying, this is right for me?
Well, I always tell people before they're in trouble or before they need a financial coach, really, I tell people, read something every day about money. You can read an article. You can follow someone online. I'm online now, Money Moments with Michelle. You can, every magazine has a finance section. I don't care if it's Good Housekeeping, Essence, Vogue. It's going to be an article about money. So whenever I flip through them, I always read them. I learn stuff every day about money. Because things change. I find out what's the best bank, what's the best interest rate the banks are paying. I'm always learning. So even if your finances are fine, there's always more that you can learn. Always when you open up MSN, read the money. Go to the money section. Just read a 2-minute article.
Yeah, and it's amazing how we can look at so many things on television, but we refuse to look about something about money.
Yes.
I mean, and which is something we need.
Absolutely.
By the way. I love looking at CNN and all the stuff like that, but it doesn't help me financially.
When we see at the bottom that the S&P 500 has gone down, people just look at that and
they don't pay any
but you don't
attention to
understand that's your 401k.
Yeah.
Those are your investments.
Yeah.
If you see it's dipped, you better take a look.
I see that sometimes. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at that. I'm like, okay.
Absolutely.
I know a little bit about that being in credit. And I'm like, oh,
Absolutely.
okay, this is not good. Because then you look at sometimes like, okay, is this going to affect some of these businesses that I'm dealing with?
Absolutely.
Too? But I think what happens a lot of times, Michelle, is that we get to a point where we figure, I'm okay. I'm old enough. I'm okay with where I'm at. That settling is almost like a defeative attitude. You probably can help me, but I've been living this way for a long time. How do I get out of that rut to saying, this is okay? I mean, I know it's got to be frustrating sometimes when you could see something with a person that you can actually help them, and they just, that's okay. Or they're concerned about, well, how much is it going to cost me if I got to go to you?
Right. Well, for people that are older, I always say this one thing: the goal is not to eat cat food. I remember turning 40 like it was yesterday. Then I turned 50, and this year, God will, I'll be 55. So the goal, as I tell my daughter, the goal is not to eat cat food. So I'm doing what I have to do because I want to have a good retirement. I want to live comfortably. So, I say things like that to people to say, because that happens. The food pantries are full of elderly people that don't have enough money, not just because they didn't save enough. Maybe they weren't high earners. That our parents weren't the kind of earners that we are. So they have modest retirement accounts than what our generation, and definitely the generation hopefully behind us, if they get their stuff together, will have. So there's I always say, it's never too late to start saving something. It's never too late to start adding more money to your 401k. I've been doing payroll for my company for 30 years, and every year when we give raises, I always say, you're going to up your 401k, right? You're going to up your 401k, and some people would, some people wouldn't. I said, it's going to pay off. Just give it another $20. Give it another $15, $20. And it adds up. Yeah, but, and some people, you're really not going to miss the $10. Just give it another 10, but it'll pay off exponentially later. So.
How we looking on time, LP?
You got like 2 minutes.
Michelle.
No,
yes.
You got like a minute and a half.
Minute and a half? Well, you always be cutting us down. 2 minutes, minute and a half, 30 seconds. Tell me one of the a nightmare financial assistance, a nightmare financial situation that you had?
I had a client that would not open her mail. And things just kept going wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. And I said, well, what did they say? I don't open my mail. I don't know what it said. I had to say, don't call me until you open your mail. I'm no longer going to work with you until you open your mail, because you're working against yourself. And so that was, I was so frustrated. I said, don't call me anymore. I can't do it.
So that's truly denial.
Yes.
Out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to see it.
Absolutely.
Open it, and it's visually right there. I see how much I owe or where I'm going wrong, what is due.
That's
Absolutely.
a nice way of saying that. I'm like, oh my God. And somebody said, Kevin Hart, oh my goodness, oh my God. I'm not going to open my mail? So you think out of sight, out of mind?
Absolutely.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
You'll be amazed.
Oh, wow. That is shock. Give me a good scenario.
My favorite client in the whole world, I started working with her. She had a 450 credit score because someone stole her
25 seconds.
identity in
25
college. And now she has an 8+ credit score. She has a beautiful home. She's doing well and fabulous.
All right. Let me know when I should start talking.
Oh, you have 10 seconds.
I'm going to be right back, y'all.
5, 4, 3, 2, and you're back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain. If you have missed it, you've missed a lot of financial assistance. We've been talking to Michelle Chambers, talking about money moments. There's been some moments here that we should definitely get involved in. Michelle shared one thing before we go, and you got to share this again. We were talking about the worst scenario, and you got to say this one on air because I cannot believe that this actually happened. That one moment, financial nightmare.
I had a client that refused to open their mail. They were in financial trouble, in debt, and they refused to open their mail. And so I had to stop working with them because they were working against themselves.
Wow. I refuse to open my mail. So if I don't open it, I don't have a bill. I don't have a financial problem until they come take my house, take my car, take my furniture, take my bird. I don't know. You might have a bird on it too. I mean, that is crazy to me that someone would sit there and say, I don't open my mail.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? That one blew me away. Okay, so we're back again with Michelle. We're going to talk to her for about another 10 minutes before Stephen Best comes on.
Comment real quick.
Go ahead.
From the lovely J. Hudson Turner. Folks be scared.
I mean,
That's what it is.
that ain't scared. I can't say what I want to say about that. I can't say what I want to. Come on now. I mean, are you kidding me? You're not going to open your mail? How you going to know what your financial situation if you don't open your mail? You do live in a house. You do live in an apartment.
Right.
I mean, you do pay. You have electrical, things. You have gas. You're driving a car. I mean, come on. That's not going to help you. Hey, when we left here, I can't even say what I want to say about that. But I'm going to say like what is Kevin Hart. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous that you're not going to open your mail. Woman, open up your mail. Whoever you are. If there's somebody out there that your financial strategy is to not call Michelle and just not open my mail, you need her assistance now. Yeah. Now. She may not talk to you until you open your mail, but you need her now. Michelle, we was talking earlier when we dropped off the line for the commercial and the song for OJ's Money, Money, Money. The top 3 things that I wanted you to tell you that we should do when we're starting our financial future in a positive direction.
The first thing to do is to aggressively establish your emergency fund. That's so important. I always say this, and this resonates with me forever. I always remember Hurricane Katrina. My mother was from Baton Rouge, so I spent a lot of time in Louisiana, that people didn't die because of the flood. They died because they were poor and they didn't have money to leave. So I tell everybody, you need to have an emergency fund. You need to have a budget, and you need to have a plan.
That's so profound the way you put that. I never thought of it that way because it did hit the hardest hit people there. Wasn't it the Ninth Ward?
Yes.
And saying they didn't die because of the flood. It was because they didn't have a place to relocate.
and they didn't have money to leave. The Hurricane Katrina hit at the end of at about the 20 something of the month. I can't remember the exact date. And because it was at the beginning of the month, seniors who get Social Security and checks they didn't have money to leave. They didn't have gas. They didn't have funds to leave. They had nowhere to go. So
Joseph McGee agrees with
Yes.
you. He said, yes, ma'am. It's like, it's so sad that that's the reality and the truth of more people didn't live in New Orleans at the time, that you don't have enough to do certain things. Like I said, if a death happened and your family is in Louisiana and we didn't have COVID, could you be afforded to go? And a lot of people are like, I can't make it.
Right.
So it is something that you have to look at to get your finances in order, which we really live paycheck to paycheck.
So
which is sad.
That's true. Michelle, we the audience that we reach usually can go around the world. I don't know if we always do that, but we do. We had somebody on France on the show last week. We went to Sri Lanka. We reached a lot of different people. So I mean, you could have people that call you from anywhere, and you don't have to be in the Chicagoland area to contact Michelle. She can help you from anywhere around the United States. Is that correct?
Correct.
But one of the things I know that people like me gonna ask, like, okay, she sound all right. How much money does she cost? That's what people gonna. Especially us people.
Well, let me say this. So, 90% of my clients come through referrals. There are people I know, friends, family. So, and this is truly a ministry for me. So I'm not going to say how much I charge, but let me tell you, it is minimum amount of money, because I really want to see people grow and really achieve. And so it's not, and there are people that I don't charge at all. If people are in dire circumstances, I've had people at church, I don't charge them at all.
And let me just say this, you're hearing this, you saying that, oh, hey, she ain't gonna tell us how much she's gonna pay. It must be high. No, that's why she's here, because she's trusted. When she says that it's not, financial planners charge a lot of money. Okay, and don't think there are some financial planners that the only thing they're financially planning on is how to get your money.
Right.
Okay.
And I am not a financial planner. I'm a financial coach. So I teach people how to manage their money.
Well,
and how to live day to day.
I'm going to say this.
Yes.
There's a lot of financial coaches out there that the only thing they're looking for is to find out how they can coach your money.
Absolutely.
And not to help you.
Absolutely.
This is a person that, and I hope you all know me well enough, because y'all know I'm crazy. I'll say what I want to say. It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. I'm not going to bring nobody on this show representing God that I don't 100% believe they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Once they fall to 99, they can't be on my show, because I don't have time for somebody saying, well, this ain't no slip, up. You've got to be honest about what you're doing.
Right.
And so you've got someone here that I know. Now, Michelle is the only person that's going to come on my show that's going to be talking about financial anything. Okay, so you can rest assured, ain't nobody else going to come and say, well, I can say that. Well, you find another show. You ain't coming on this one, because this is a person I can trust. And it's almost like the lady said, if you find something, stick with it. This is what I'm sticking with. So when she tells you that what she's going to charge is minimal compared to what you would be charged from other places, when she just says she's a financial coach, and I like that. But Michelle is a financial guru. She knows what she's talking about. Maybe you missed this. There are people that are millionaires who have trusted her. I'm not just saying that to brag on her. I wish I was one of those millionaires. These have been millionaires who have trusted her, who have came to her exclusively saying, can you do this for me? They trust her with their money. And so you can't trust her with a couple of dollars you got? If she was gonna do something wrong, the millionaires would have seen it by now. They still come to her. They still need her assistance. So what about you? You need assistance too. We all need assistance. And the smart Christian, the smart individual, is find somebody that's a little bit smarter than you that can help you get to where you want to go to. This is the person that can do that. So Michelle, we're not finished with you yet, but I'm hearing this crazy preacher talking about how good you are. How do I get in contact with you?
You can email me at moneymoments2020@gmail. That's the best way to reach me.
The best way. Say that again.
moneymoments2020@gmail.
And I hate to say this, and I'm gonna tease him a little bit. I'm gonna do a AC Green. Say it one more time, because he's a 3-person.
Right.
No, wait. You want to say something to it? Say it.
No, and then also you can follow me on YouTube as well,
Right,
and Instagram. Yes.
What's her name again?
Money Moments with Michelle.
Tasia, the beautiful Tasia.
You got Tasia here, and I keep telling Tasia I'm a crazy preacher. You can say whatever you want to on the air.
She's
You ain't-
shy.
She just be sitting back there like she's a silent partner. You ain't gotta be no silent partner here. If there's something she needs to add, help her. Just let her know. So I want you to again tell them how they can reach you.
moneymoments2020@gmail is the email. Money Moments with Michelle on YouTube and Instagram.
So you're doing the YouTube thing now. So
Yes.
that means I can get some commercials to share on our
Absolutely.
radio show now.
Absolutely.
Great. That's wonderful.
I do want to say this. Miss Tasia did say something. This is good. It always start with that one moment.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. That is very nice. It always starts with that one. You know, that is so important, because it does start with that moment.
It does.
That moment that you realize, oh my God,
I need help.
I need help. That's a
Yes.
good way to say it. I'm
Yes.
screwed up.
Yes.
I don't know how much money. I can't believe that.
Yes.
People that don't know how
Oh,
much
absolutely.
money they make.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can understand if you don't know the gross, because
Right.
you're just looking at, I get, $1,100 every 2 weeks. I mean, but what do you make?
Absolutely.
And I think the thing about it sometimes, Michelle, is here's a question I've got to ask you. I'm gonna start this. We got about 1 or 2 minutes before Stephen comes. Is there something that I should, when I'm starting this, that I should do with my money? Say I'm starting with you now and I'll get a paycheck. Should I start something right now with that paycheck that I'm getting this Friday if I'm working with you? What can I do?
The first thing I would do is say, pay yourself first and save some of it. That right now, I would say save some of it right now. I don't care if it's set up an online savings account that you can't easily access. And I don't care if your check was $1,100. I'd really like for you to at least put $25 in the savings. Get into the habit of saving.
Yeah.
Because that's going to help you so much down the line. When I tell people, when you see that savings account grow, it's a rush. You know how we get a rush when the new shoes, new bag, a new car. When you start seeing your finances improve, your credit go up, and your savings account grow, that's a rush.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, and when I ever get my savings account to go up, I'm gonna be happy too.
Yes.
If it can go up from $2 to $3,
That's
I'd be happy.
it.
My
Yes.
goodness, $3.
Yes.
Then I don't have to worry about the bank taking fees out of it and stuff like that. Hey, we're gonna switch over real quick to Stephen Best. I don't know, is he on the line yet?
Yes.
We're gonna go over to Stephen Best, and we're gonna come back to Michelle.
Yes.
For most of you all don't know, I cannot hear myself on this thing, but for those of you all don't know, Stephen Best takes care of our theater stuff. He scours the globe. Thank you. That seems so strange, and I couldn't hear myself. He scours the globe looking for tidbits about what's going on in theater. Now, if I can just get Money Moments to get on the air with us every Tuesday and share something, I'd be so happy. But we're going to be talking about that. Call those things that be not as though they want. But we do have one of the greatest people out there that just loves theater and knows everything that's going on and gives us some tidbits around the United States and in the Chicagoland area as well. We've got the best man to do it, Stephen Best. How you doing, man? Hello.
Huh.
You take the mute off?
I sure didn't. How about now?
Stephen, are you there? Hello. No, Stephen. Don't pull anything out. Stephen, if you're there, call me on my phone. Let's check that out. You got the Ring Central up?
Yeah. He was on it.
He was?
Yeah.
Stephen?
He's gone now. But he was on it. I did answer the call.
Maybe just text him real quick.
Hey, Stephen, what happened?
I don't know. I called the number I normally do, and I could hear you guys perfectly. You could not hear me, and I promise you I did not have my mute on.
Don't worry about it. We'll get that fixed. I'll just hold the phone to the thing right now. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in theater.
Well, ironically enough, we're going to start with a money moment in the arts world here in Chicago. Believe it or not, and this was totally unplanned. This is another serendipitous moment. But just announced today here in the Chicagoland area, there is a huge increase in arts funding coming, and it is called the Arts 77. It is a $60 million, let me repeat that, $60 million arts funding grant that is going to help fuel Chicago-based artists, concerts, and new public art at O'Hare Airport. And the Art 77, how they came up with the name is there are 77 Chicago neighborhoods, and they want these funds to permeate all 77 neighborhoods. The current budget, again, I don't want to I don't want to have everybody gloss over, but the current budget is $100,000, and that's going to increase to $3 million annually. And then at O'Hare Airport, the O'Hare Airport public art budget is $100,000, and it's going to increase to $3 million because they want O'Hare to provide an international visitors a dynamic and bold first impression of the city when they first arrive. Now, it's not just O'Hare. It's going to permeate through all of the neighborhoods. They want to help Chicago band rosters. They want lobbying for the arts. Chicago, unfortunately, has a little bit of a reputation of not caring about the arts as much as other cities of the same size, Atlanta, New York, of course, and Atlanta, New York, and Los Angeles. So Chicago is sort of upping the game, and they're going to revitalize this critical sector and place the arts at the center in the city's economic recovery efforts. So that is very, very exciting. Okay, now let's talk about arts here in Chicago. We've got rapper and actor Common is going to be joining this Friday's Chicago Shakespeare at Navy Pier Theater event. It's going to stream online from 7 to 7:45 p.m. and they have filmed musical performances on the top of the Chicago Shakespeare Theater at Navy Pier. Yes, it is outside on the roof. It's going to star Chicago amazing performers like Ariana Burks, who I love so much, Sawyer Smith, who's so talented, Lucy Garindez. So they've got a wonderful mix of Chicago talent. And today was just announced Common is going to join that as well. And for more information, just go to the Chicago Shakespeare Theater website. That is Chicago Shakes, SHAKES.com, to reserve your spots. Speaking of reserved spots, Goodman Theater, you just need to go to goodmantheater.org. Their latest encore show is called Measure for Measure. That is also a Shakespeare show that's going to stream from April 26th through May 9th. You do need to reserve tickets. It's a free streaming, but you do need to go online to reserve tickets. And they are also going to do their newest Future Labs virtual reading called Night Watch, debuting this Saturday, April 24th. And again, to stream it is free, but you do need to register for tickets. And then we've got one more streaming, and that's Writers Theater. It's called The Last Match, streaming at the end of this month, starting this Friday, April 23rd through May 12th. And to stream that, there is a fee, but to stream that, it's writerstheater.org, or you can reach out directly to the box office at writerstheater.org. However, in the time of COVID, they don't always have someone at the box office. You can access it straight away on their main website, which again is writerstheater.org. Okay, now that we've got the streaming out of the way, Rick's most popular question: when is Broadway coming back? So I have some scoop about Chicago Broadway. Chicago is going to remain home of the out-of-town tryouts, according to several Broadway insiders. And starting, again, these dates are as of today, but starting November 24th, Broadway in Chicago at their 549-seat theater is going to bring 6 back to Chicago. They're going to have a permanent cast here in Chicago. Their plan is to have it run at least through March, although this is a huge, huge international show, so I can't fathom it won't extend beyond that. But the advantage is Six the musical is about the 6 wives of Henry VIII, but it's told through a modern rock and roll sort of pop girl group. Spice Girls meets Lady Gaga meets My Girl Beyonce meets Rihanna mentality. So it's a small cast of 6 actresses. It's a small crew behind the scenes, and then there are 4 members of the band. So there will be 10 people on stage maximum, and the core demographic for this is a younger audience, essentially the people that COVID is not ravaging. So it looks like all things are a go for 6 to be playing here in Chicago the week of Thanksgiving, starting November 24th. And then again, as of today, it still looks like the Moulin Rouge is going to debut December 17th and play through February. So it will be here for Christmas.
Oh my God.
New Year's. It will be here for Christmas, New Year's, and through Valentine's Day.
I love Moulin Rouge. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I was lucky enough. I did get to see it in New York before everything shut down. It is such a spectacular show, Rick. You're going to be blown away. They're going to have to amend a few things, though, for the tour because the stage is shaped differently. But I promise you, it's going to be a good time.
Looking forward to that. Is that it?
And then lastly, the Goodman Theater, my insider at the Goodman Theater said they are hoping that the Christmas Carol will be live at their theater this winter. And again, I don't want to conjecture any more than that. They didn't say anything about what the audience would look like. They didn't say if they think masks will still be required then or not. Just as of today, their hope is to be able to produce a Christmas Carol live for this upcoming holiday season.
Yeah, let's pray for that.
And that's it for the Best of Theater with Stephen Best.
Hey, Stephen, so I want to correct you on one thing. So the one thing that I always want to know from you is, when is theater coming back? I just want to know from you, when is Beyonce retiring?
Oh, she's barely, what is she, 39? She's got another 50 years.
That's all I want you. That's the news that I want you to tell me. When is Beyonce retiring? I mean, she needs to retire. That's all I'm saying. This is an ongoing joke between me and Stephen. They're like, well, what is Stephen knows that I'm joking with him.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, again, Beyonce is going to outlive us all. And I know that many people make the joke about the artist Cher. If a nuclear war would happen, 2 things will survive: Cher and cockroaches. So I would be interested to see if, 30, 40, 50 years from now, if Beyonce still continues to be relevant. Because I've got to tell you, Rick, I mean, I know you don't think she has the most powerful voice, but when it comes to being an entertainer and someone who evolves as the entertainment industry evolves, there are very few people that play that game better than Beyonce.
Well, I'm just a little bit disappointed right now that she won,
including this year when she won several Grammy Awards, and she didn't even release an album. That was off of her visual album that was on Disney Plus.
Well, Stephen, this ain't the time for you to talk about Beyonce. I don't want to hear all that. I'm just joking with you. I'm already mad at my nephew over here that put the Beyonce picture up there on Facebook.
I'm so disappointed I can't see you when I'm talking live.
And so, I mean, I'm going to let you go because I don't want to hear all this stuff about Beyonce. You had your time.
Oh, wait, I got one more little tidbit. This Sunday, this is an entertainment biz news. This Sunday is the Academy Awards, and in Variety magazine today, it was reported they want to plan a full audience, vaccinated, limited masks. So they want this Oscars to look like a standard Oscars award show. We will see if that is still going to be the case. At one point, they were talking about having multiple ceremonies. Since they have actors all over the world, they were going to do one in Los Angeles, one in New York, one in London, perhaps one in Paris. They have not finalized exactly how they are doing that, other than to say they want a full award ceremony happening this Sunday. So this is like the Super Bowl of the award shows. The Oscars wraps up this year it's been almost 6-month award show season, and it's been stretched out, of course, because of COVID restrictions. But for all of those who are looking forward to red carpet in Hollywood, the Oscars is it.
All right. Hey, well, Stephen, thank you always for giving us updated information. And I'm not going to be mad at you that you took about a minute to talk about Beyonce.
I took 3.
I'll talk to you later, buddy. See you next Tuesday.
Bye, my friend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. For those of you all don't know, me and Steven have like a running joke about Beyonce. He just loves Beyonce, and I just love to tease him about it. But before we go on, I'm going to read this out real quick because also the Illinois Holocaust Museum is doing something that's great. They're doing, well, he cut that thing off, and I'm like, that kind of threw me off. I'm like, what the heck happened? The Holocaust Museum is doing something special here with the Mandela Struggle for Freedom. It says change can start anywhere, even in a jail cell. Don't miss Mandela Struggle for Freedom, a mesmerizing exposition now open in Illinois Holocaust Museum in Skokie, just a short drive from downtown. Explore Mandela and the South Africa anti-apartheid movement and his rise from prisoner to president. I love that. From prisoner to president. There's something for everyone. For more information, contact I-L holocaustmuseum.org. So Holocaust Museum is doing some great things to get some tickets out. And because Michelle is on the air today, I'm going to be giving her one of the tickets. And also, I'm going to be giving a ticket to the young lady that's helping her out so they can go see the Mandela Struggle for Freedom. And that ticket, hold on, that ticket is for two, so you can bring a guest with you.
Oh, thank you.
Let's
you.
try to coordinate this long field trip.
I don't know about all
Yes.
that. We'll try that. I know you just want to, with Ebony and Ivory, in COVID, we may not be able to do all that. They may say all of y'all can't get there. Get that phone before it falls off. We're going to do Club 50, the relationship letter, then we're going to get back to Michelle.
Okay.
What you got?
Hello, Golden Diva.
Hello.
You too young. Okay. But, anyway, last week is supposed to have been those watercolor moments, but got caught up. So this week is going to be all about those watercolor moments that we're going to be sharing at Club 50 to inspire us to do more, to want to do more. I might even throw in a Michelle money moments in there because we got to get inspired to save our money. So that's all I have to say this week on Club 50.
All right, Brenda's doing some great things with Club 50, inspiring women around the world with her articles and just sharing things. And I do like the way how you share and always, lift up women no matter who they are. You will uplift them and support them, and so that's a great thing. You're also doing some with Ife Designs. Talk a little bit about that before we go into relationship letter.
Hey, I'm appreciating all of you guys who are supporting me with Ife Designs. It's like the light bulb just came on, we flipped the switch and decided to come to me, and I love you for that. So continue to come my way because I design the banners, I do the birthday cards, the save the
repeat.
day. The step and repeat banners, which is just crazy blowing up for some reason. But what gets me, even during COVID, people are still having parties. And I thank you for using me to help make your party a great event, along with Tiffany events by Tiffany R. I have to shout her out because she's doing great things as well. But you can contact me as well via Facebook, because most people see that out there. You could go to Facebook and message me if you want some designs made. I really will appreciate you to continue to do that. So that's ifedesigns@gmail.com. You can email as well. And some of you guys who know me, you have my telephone number. Text me and we can make it happen.
All right. So quickly, let's go into our relationship letter, and then we're going to take a few minutes of remaining of the show to talk about the money moments.
Okay, now this is interesting. This letter was sent, Dear LSTT, all eyes have been on the George Floyd trial, awaiting to see if Derek Chauvin's fate will be justifiable and his death will not be in vain. My heart aches for his family during this time of deliberation. Hopefully, before this letter has been read, we will have a verdict. If we do, I truly hope justice will be served for Floyd. If not, unfortunately, I could see another disastrous riot. LSTT, do you think the charges for Derek Chauvin is enough? 12 and a half years for second degree, third degree, and second degree manslaughter would be 4 years. I think you guys mentioned something about 40
years, yeah.
Here. Sincerely, is it enough time for his crime, Michelle?
I'm going to go with you first because I don't feel like getting upset again.
Yeah, I'm just talking to her.
There will never be enough time for his family. So, you can't equate time for a life. So whether he gets his life, the rest of life in jail, 30, 40 years, the loss that his family will feel forever, it will never be enough. So I don't think we should focus. It's important that he get, something that we feel is justifiable, 25, 30, 40 years. But for his family, it won't bring their loved one back. So unfortunately, I've kind of lived through something like that. So it really doesn't matter in the long run how much time he gets.
Yeah, and I just
Wait, comment. Did you shut her mic off? Is her mic back on? Because people say they're not hearing her.
Say that again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
so
Give
now.
me yes, Stephen, if you could hear her.
So she said all that and you couldn't hear.
Both of them said instantly. Said right, I can't hear her at all.
Oh.
Okay, let us know. Can you hear her now?
Can
'Cause
you
she was
hear me
going
now?
Very clear earlier.
So while you're listening to try to hear her, I'm just gonna say
It's on.
it's on. So
It was on.
hopefully, Michelle, just kind of briefly
Oh,
say
they
that.
said much better. Okay, repeat that a little bit.
Oh, what I was going to say is that for the Floyd family, it doesn't matter if he gets 20, 30, 40, the loss that they have suffered, the years will not equate that. So, of course they want as much time as the law will allow, but the grief and the pain will live on for many years.
Yeah, it's that's true. I mean, you'll never be, because I can't get the life back. There is no justification for whatever sentence he has. He has taken something that is so precious, life, and I think sometimes people don't. We don't seem to care about life anymore.
Right.
Someone dies and something. It's no big deal. It's almost like seeing a rerun on a TV show. We don't really seem to care about it as much. But this man's life is gone. They will never get a chance to be with him again.
Yes.
There's no sentence that can replace that. There is no justice. And people always say justice. This person is no longer here. And so there is nothing that you can do that can give the justice to that family. All we can do is pray for them for
Yes.
healing, and just pray that you got to pray for the family of the officer too. I mean, let's be honest. If we're going to be Christians, we got to pray
Yes.
for them and their healing too, because somebody's about to lose a husband or a father or something like that, and so this is something that happens to them that they have no control over. So we got to pray for them as well. But what we need to do is pray for humanity, that we can get to the point where not that Black lives matters, but all lives matters, and that we care about each other to the point where we just look at each other as equal. Until we get to that, there's no progress.
Okay, so you just broke that on down, Miss. Is it enough time for his crime? I hope we answered your questions, because we do have to pray for humanity. Even though some say that this was a progression today and some don't believe that it was, we are still moving forward and hoping that the Floyd family feels some kind of justice that was done for them. Because I know that even after this, they said something about the civil suits about to start.
Yeah, possibly. But I mean, I will say 12 years is definitely not enough.
Absolutely. Oh, I agree.
Definitely not enough. That's definitely not enough. Hey, getting back to not enough, we're going to talk again with money moments. You had a slogan. What was that slogan again that she brought up? It only takes a moment.
Oh, every financial decision begins with a moment.
And I love that so much, Michelle. Can you tell me what moment should I be thinking about? I've got this financial problem. I thought that was my phone. I got this financial problem, and say that thing. What you just said again.
Every financial decision begins with a moment.
It begins with a moment. It's just having that thought process. That is a great slogan. To have that process. I'm about to start with you. This is my moment.
And
Help
the
me.
moment that you decided to change your financial situation is a great moment.
Yeah.
And that's where we get every people finances is such a daunting thing. Marriages break up because of finances. It causes stress, it causes death.
Oh yeah.
It causes illness. And so money is mentioned more than 800 times in the Bible, because God knew that would be a struggle for us. So I think that we don't teach our children about money. So then we grow up trying to figure it out on our own, or we learn bad habits from our parents because they didn't know any better. Nobody taught them. It's not taught in depth in school.
No,
at least
that's a
in not
shame.
inner city schools.
Yeah,
Let me speak for
thank
that.
you,
Let me
thank you.
say
You
inner
said it
city
before I said it.
inner city schools. Let me qualify that. And so, I think that we have to change our mindset about money, change our mindset about wealth, change our mindset about what life really, a balanced financial life really looks like. It doesn't mean that you have to have a 3,000 square foot house. You don't have to have a $100,000 car. You don't have to have a $2,000 bag to have a really good life and to be financially successful, because success is different for everybody. Success is I can go to sleep at night, all my bills are paid, and I got money in the bank, but I may not have a 3,000 square foot house.
Right. And that person with the 3,000.
We used to always say, I'm broke, but my bills are paid.
Yeah.
That was the good broke.
Yes.
That you took the checkers out. I'm not doing nothing too much this weekend. As long as the bills are paid,
Yes.
we are good.
Yes.
Yeah. You had said something that I guess got thrown off a little bit about the finances, and I just think that a lot of times when we look at our finances, the fear and the lack of knowledge really causes us not to want to deal with it. Like you said, the woman didn't want to look at her information. Tell me something that we haven't talked about that is very crucial that we need. Because when you start taking care of your finances, you're going to a generational wealth.
Absolutely.
That's what you're trying to do. And what you said now, I'm thinking we can almost have another conversation about finance not be taught in inner city schools.
Absolutely.
That in itself is a whole topic that we need to talk about, because it is being taught everywhere else, but it's not being taught in our schools. Tell me about something that we missed that we didn't discuss with you that we need to know.
What I would say is that we all have the ability to change, and that it begins with a decision, and that no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what your income is that we have the ability to change and improve our lives, irregardless of what the government gives us. Everybody's waiting on the stimulus. That's wonderful. Everybody waiting on income tax. And those dollars come in, and then we give it right back out. A lot of people don't improve their circumstances with those funds. It's just additional money to spend. And I'm not saying that for everybody, of course, but we need to change our mindset about finances. And I think we all have the ability to change our mindset.
You said something that made me think about this, and I wrote this down. Success is a stepping stone. We've got to take small steps to get there. And I think a lot of times we want to go from A to Z right away.
Right.
I want to get $100,000 in my account in 6 months. Well, okay, that's nice, but that's kind of an advanced thinking. Let's do some baby steps here. So
let's work on 1,000.
Yeah.
When you have none.
Right. When you have none. So we got to be a stepping stone. We've got to be patient.
Right.
Because if you can't just all of a sudden, it's not winning the lottery.
Right.
That all of a sudden your life is going to change. Financial coaching helps you to take those stepping stones to get to a point.
But people that win the lottery and professional athletes, they go broke too.
Yeah, they do. It's amazing how many people who want the lottery are broke now. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
What you got?
I want to read these comments from Mr. Joseph McGee, all about the mindset. He agrees totally with Michelle and said it before she said that. And Mr. Schultz Smith said entrepreneurship should be taught in our communities.
Absolutely.
We need to understand generational wealth and wealth management.
Absolutely.
There's a difference in being rich versus being wealthy.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing. And I'm going to have to see if I can do this and bring Michelle to talk about the financial thing, and bring Sheldon on to talk about things about school and communities and stuff like that, because he does a great job with that. We can have them both come in one time and talk about
and
that.
Can I just say one last thing?
Of course.
And a lot of people don't want to hear this, and this is true, and people don't want to believe this. I don't know why, because we teach wealth and prosperity in church, outside church. Everybody's not going to be wealthy.
Thank you.
Everyone is not going to be rich, but you can still have a really good life without being wealthy.
Right. I mean, that's so true, because everybody wants to be You know that song, I wanna be rich.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, how do you get there? And
Yes.
what, rich, I feel rich now. I'm not a millionaire.
Yes.
But where is rich for you? Where is security
Right.
for you?
Yes.
You need to know where that is and stop expand. I mean, you can grow and progress to that, but don't think that that's the be all the end. Some things, like you said, all of us are not going to be millionaires. We're not all going to be
Right.
rich.
One
You
of
know?
my favorite sayings is comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, well, that's good.
When we compare what others have, what they do, where they go, what they spend their money, that steals our joy. And it steals our money because we're trying to keep up with everybody
So
else.
stop trying to compare with your money
Yes.
with mine, brother. It's a thief. It's a thief. Stop
Yes.
doing it. That's more true than it is mine.
Yes.
But Michelle, it's been an honor and a pleasure. We got to
Thank
get you back on
you.
here again.
This was awesome. Thank
Talk
you.
again about how they can contact you, where they can see you at.
Yes, so you can contact me via email, moneymoments2020@gmail. I'm on Instagram, Money Moments with Michelle. And because April is Financial Literacy Month, I have launched my YouTube, Money Moments with Michelle, where I have 2 great videos on how to get started with your financial freedom journey and the 5 mistakes that people make in their finances.
We're gonna have to share that on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
Yes.
was thinking that. Put
You
that
know,
on our page.
Yeah, put
Okay.
that on our page, and so we can share that. And I'm gonna have to make a commercial with this money moments thing, so we can have it showing, having people do that. They can contact you as.
I
as
appreciate
well.
that.
I'm gonna ask you this one more time. Just tell us one more time how they can get in contact with you.
moneymoments2020@gmail, Money Moments with Michelle on Instagram and YouTube.
So again, everybody, as Michelle, as modest as she is, I keep saying this, and I'm trying to stress this. When millionaires trust someone with their finances, you should be paying attention to that, because they know that this is a person that's not going to kill, steal, or destroy their financial future. Here is a person who has been godly driven to help you. She even said that there's some people she don't even charge. And if you know anything about financial assistants or financial coaches, they can charge a lot of money. This is a God-fearing, God-loving female woman of God, who is going to really work to help you. It behooves you to contact her so you can get some assistance to getting not only your life in order, but think about your child, how you can take that financial assistance, that financial knowledge, and train your child. A program that's not even in schools. Here is a woman that's saying, I'm going to teach you something that your teachers are not teaching your children, and that your child can be financially secure in the coming years when he's supposed to get older. And that generational knowledge can turn into generational wealth. And she's doing it by the grace of God, charging little or nothing. She's going to charge you something. Come on now.
Right.
But it's not going to be the hundreds of thousands that other people charge you. You need to contact them. Michelle, I said I wasn't going to do this, but one more time, give the information before we go.
moneymoments2020@gmail, Money Moments with Michelle on Instagram and YouTube.
All right. Hey, we got to get out of here. Any last words from you, baby?
Last comment from Mary Silla. Great show. Thanks, Michelle.
Oh, hi, Mary. Thank you.
And this was a great show. I do want to say thank you for coming and hanging out with us on the McCain train, because we have learned a lot. We should know this by now, but hey, we're going to get it. We're going to get it.
All
We have
right.
some questions for us.
Okay, stop it, because we got to get off the air. Hey, this is Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo. We ain't going to have no time to play that last song, but play it. We'll see you next Tuesday, 6:30. Woo-hoo!